kernel of the idea behind the clip for No Control was to create a piece of art, then destroy it, thereby creating a new piece of art. The challenge with the song was that it has a fairly mellow pace throughout, but then culminates in this huge emotional finish, so the visuals had to live up to that. Shane, the guitarist for the band, and I go way back to grade 6. We started hashing the idea around. Shane came up with the idea of the light shining through the back of the piece, then it evolved into 3 layers of artwork and so on and so forth. We'd originally planned to shoot the clip in my West End studio that got pretty well destroyed in the Brisbane floods, but the concept and the power requirements eventually outgrew the space and we started looking for empty warehouses. The flooded studio did, however, make for a perfect location for an ambitious one-shot motion control clip for Roland Cowper, but that's a whole other story. Meanwhile, our resident tech art fusion genius James Loveday, who also directed the clip for Rolly, got us in touch with Brisbane artist Carl Kwasny and his partner Kelly, who were right into the idea and agreed to create the art piece. Jonas McQuiggan, the DP for the clip, knew of a massive warehouse space in yuppie saturated Newstead. My producer Ben managed to find the owner and negotiate use of the space for the better part of a week. Carl and Kelly worked on concept sketches which we shot on medium format and sent off to get developed, while Ben, Jameis and my uber-skilled brother Johnny migrated our entire studio, just about, into the warehouse space. Edit suites, cameras, fridges, lights, the works. We'd whittled the shot list down to a 2-night shoot, which was optimistic on the modest budget. Night 1 with minimal crew, followed by a huge all-nighter to finish off. Prior to that, our legendary props guy Robbie Porter got the giant canvases built, and Jameis nailed some early takes of the motion control time lapses that would feature in the clip, using our cam block system and a 5D. We shot using both of our Red MX cameras, some vintage Cook Prankro primes and low-con filters. Jonas used a ton of backlight with old Barton fixtures, and when the light hit the filters you get this lovely milky look. Night 1 took about 8 hours and went pretty well. Johnny jumped on as camera assistant and we had some great work experience guys lending a hand also. Then the fit hit the shan. Ben calls me the morning before night 2 to say he'd received a message from the owner that we'd been evicted from the location due to noise complaints. I called the owner and somehow managed to talk him around, and we were back on provided we were quiet as ninjas. At about 4 p.m, just before launching into what was to be a 14-hour shoot, I get a text from the owner saying we needed to be out by 9 p.m, giving us about 4 hours to complete every shot. We pruned the shot list down to bonsai proportions, handed out radios and in-ear foldback for the band, and our incredible crew set about achieving the impossible, in silence. We got both cameras rolling simultaneously on as many performance takes as we could afford, while Carl and Kelly worked furiously to finish 3 large-scale ink drawings in absolute record time. With the band takes locked away, we set about destroying the art canvases. We had about half an hour to nail everything from the first hammer swing until the final reveal shot. I abandoned all hopes of orchestrating any particular angles or setups, and we got the 2 Reds rolling doco style, following whatever action they could. Ben, Robbie and Jameis all got in on the destruction, eventually joined by Carl and myself. Brad Francis, Johnny, Mick Smith and their crew did an incredible job snagging shots on the crane, while Jonas and Dan Maddock tore around with the other Red getting slow-mo close-ups. All the while, Gaffer Luke and his assistant Chu worked tirelessly lighting setups under the most ridiculous time pressures. We wrapped around 10 p.m, the owner was good enough to let us run over ever so slightly. Unable to afford even the noise of a celebratory backslap, we bumped out only essentials and skulked off to the nearest watering hole. Throughout all this nonsense, the band was incredibly patient and supportive. You wouldn't find a nicer bunch of guys. Special mention also to the stylist Jules Sebastian, who did consistent, professional and flawless work without the slightest hassle. Another graetzmedia team member, Corey Bordenette, took time out of an insane schedule on one of our biggest ever corporate jobs to come in and do some art direction and even make it into a shot in the clip. Huge thanks to all the work experience guys, Chris, Dan, Mickey and Matt and everyone else I've forgotten to mention. We were really honoured to collaborate with artists the calibre of Carl and Kelly. They were extremely patient. The clip wouldn't have happened without the stellar efforts of DP Jonas McQuiggan, my producer / sledgehammerer Ben Evans, Johnny Graetz, James Loveday, Corey Bordenette and all of the crew. Thanks also to Sony for taking a chance on a left field concept. Keep an eye out for Holland as they debut. They're all hugely talented and genuine musicians and very well deserving of success. And for taking the time out of your busy schedule to listen to this slightly self-indulgent yet informative behind the scenes featurette, we thank you.